Well, I'll tell you what, yesterday, 3-0 sweep with the complimentary plays. That's 10 straight winners here on the video report with the free picks. Yesterday in college basketball, gave you free winners here on the video report with Cincinnati, Mississippi State, and Tennessee earning its first win in over 6 years at Kentucky. And then, of course, I lose my small 5-dime best bet as Butler falls in overtime at home against Xavier. But I'm not overly concerned because bottom line is I've still won 13 of the last 20 days with my best bets, and I've reeled off 10 straight winners with the complimentary plays. So what I'm doing handicapping-wise, it's right there. And I'm coming right back with another 15-dime best bet in college hoops tonight on the game between Iowa State and Texas Tech. And I've got some more college complimentary plays coming your way, including the game between Virginia and Florida State to lead it all off in just a moment. Another guy who is red hot here at the site would be Eric Schrader, who is going for winning day number 18 out of 29. But more importantly, after cashing in last night with his 100-time Big Ten Game of the Year with Northwestern outright over Michigan, the night before with his 100-time MAAC, Metro Atlantic Conference Game of the Year with Fairfield over Siena, and his 100-time SEC Game of the Year on Saturday with LSU over Arkansas, he is raising the bar tonight with his first ever 200-dime college basketball release, and it is on that Virginia-Florida State game that I'm going to give you my opinion on in just a moment. And you can get it for over half price off, just like his 100-dime winners the past 2 nights by using coupon code ERIC, and that's on Virginia and Florida State. Remember, he had his 4th ever 200-dime NFL release of his career couple of Sundays ago, AFC Championship game. You got it for over half price off. Jacksonville Jaguars, the 7-point dog, outright over Pittsburgh. And in the NBA, the big play tonight would be Brad Wilton, who has a 100-dime max wager on his blowout of the year. Matches his 100-dime winner in the Super Bowl and the Eagles. Get it for over half price off by using coupon code Brad. And how about Dom Chambers, guy? He's on another red-hot roll in the NHL. NHL winner number 8 in a row over the past 2 weeks. You get it for over half price off by using coupon code Dom. Talked about the stock market a little bit yesterday. Just a quick word about gambling stocks. I work in the gambling industry, okay? Vegas is my second home. So, needless to say, I follow the industry very close. Strange day on the market today. Down, up, down. Interest rates popping again. Market, boom, takes a downward cycle toward the end of the day. But you saw a stock that I've talked about in the past, Wynn, W-Y-N-N. You saw that Steve Wynn, of course, the namesake, stepped down. A new successor named. Now, there's still problems with it, but of course, overnight, after hours, that stock popped to over 13. At one point today, it was up close, maybe a little over 16. Eventually, I think it closed right around 12 or so up. So, just putting it all out there on the table before I get to the complimentary play. So, I have been bullish on Wynn for over a couple of years. Wynn and Netflix have been the 2 stocks that I call my home run stocks. I go in, I go out. I buy them, I sell them, I take some profit off the table, I wait till they dip, I buy them back again. Now, of course, when all the sexual harassment news came out about Wynn, I immediately sold them a couple of weeks ago, took the profit off the table, and I've been waiting to go back and buy in. Now, earlier today, I went in and I got my beak wet again on Wynn. I think today I bought like 50 shares, just a small little position. Now, I'm just going to tell you about Wynn. I've talked about it before. Wynn is the dominant player in Macau. Macau drives the Wynn earnings and will continue to do so. Wynn, a great player in Vegas, but they derive at close to 70%, I believe, of their total revenue from Macau. Now, Steve Wynn stepping aside, it will ultimately, I still think, affect the stock. So I'm not sure if they're totally back. But one thing I can tell you, I follow the Macau gaming market religiously. If this had not happened with Wynn, the sexual harassment news, the lawsuits, etc., coming to light, the charges, etc., the end of January report was just tremendous. Full disclosure, I have 200 shares of Las Vegas Sands. I have 200 shares of Round Rock, RRR is the stock ticker. That is the Station Casino stock. I bought it originally when the IPO came out back, I think it was July of 2016 at 18. It's up to like 33. Las Vegas Sands. A good player in Macau. I've had that since it was in its 30s. It's up in the 70s. It's taken a hit the past couple of weeks, but that is, to me, those are the three players, and I think you're best positioned if you're going to have a nice little trio of stocks to corner the gambling market. A lot of people are high on MGM. I've never been really a strong believer in MGM. I've never thought they were a big player in Macau. I've never really thought that their balance sheet was that strong in Vegas. Of course, they unfortunately took a little bit of a decline after that tragedy and the shooting incident a few months ago. Back to Winner, though. I'm not solely convinced that Win is back despite today's pop. I think tomorrow will be interesting. That's why I only bought 50 shares today, because tomorrow I could take a beating on Win tomorrow. But I still think, it's time to at least look at them again. It's only the 7th of the month. As we get closer to the end of the month, you have to evaluate the stock because, listen, Macau gaming numbers have been steadily rising month after month. I don't anticipate the numbers going down. If they get some stability, if in terms of their management, if things kind of level off here, Win is still the key player. Las Vegas Sands, however, I will tell you where Las Vegas Sands in the future and why I steadily hold on, and I'm probably going to increase my position there. Japan is the next big market, and Sands is poised to pop there. And again, if you're looking for the dominant Las Vegas player, Round Rock, RRR, great little stock. It's been steady right there in the low 30s, and again, the IPO originally was 18. So that's my little stock tip for today. Let's move on to the gambling stuff. Virginia going to Florida State tonight, 2.5-point favorite, 3 points earlier today. 8 of Virginia's 11 conference wins came by double digits. They're 22-1 on the season. 18 of those wins by at least 10 points. 9 of those wins by 20 points or more. 13 of those wins by 15 points or more. Virginia taking on a Florida State team that's coming off an 80-76 win at Louisville after losing at Wake Forest. How do you lose at Wake Forest and then you win at Louisville, handing the Cardinals only their second loss of the season? Of course, it was Louisville that won in Tallahassee about 3 weeks ago, snapping Florida State's 28-game winning streak at home in Tallahassee. That's the only loss that Florida State has suffered in 5 ACC home games this season. Virginia, of course, coming off that 59-44 win at Syracuse over the weekend. They're 4-0 on the ACC road, also winning at Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, and Duke. We remember that one, right? Now, Florida State has won the last 2 meetings. Florida State is a high-octane offensive team, but so is Duke. And how did that turn out for the Blue Devils? Florida State's leading scorer is 6'6" guard Terrence Mann, who leads the team in scoring at 15.5 points a game. But he is a guy who likes to live inside the perimeter. That's where he does most of his damage. But that's where Virginia's defense is so tough, because they can pack the lanes. They can squeeze Mann when he tries to come inside. In fact, although he was not their leading scoring option in last year's game, won by Florida State, in that game he really struggled, just 6 points on 2 for 4 shooting from the field in 24 minutes. Now, Florida State is a very good rebounding team. They don't turn the ball over much. But again, this Virginia defense is just absolutely suffocating. A Virginia defense that hasn't allowed more than 68 points in any single game this season. Florida State, on the other hand, hasn't scored less than 68 points in any single game this season. They average a little over 84 points a game. But I go back to that Duke game, played on Duke's home floor, where Duke was leading the nation in terms of offensive efficiency. And how did it turn out for the Blue Devils? Until Virginia proves otherwise, at this point spread, at this cheap of a price, I got to take the Cavaliers and go with that suffocating defense. So once again, I'm going to ride them in this spot. I'm going to go with Villanova tonight at home. And remember, they're not playing on their home campus arena. They're playing at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, while their home campus arena is being renovated. I'm going to go with Villanova minus the big points tonight, 16 at home against St. John's. Now, when they played at St. John's, it was a close game. January 13th, Villanova was a double-digit chalk. They struggled to a 78-71 win because St. John's plays ugly. They play close. They play tough defense, and they keep games close generally. And you saw what just happened against Duke on the weekend. They pulled a huge upset, snapping an 0-for-11 skid by upsetting the Dukies 81-77 as an 11-point home dog. I say they don't upset Villanova here. Villanova coming off a 92-76 home win over Seton Hall on Sunday. Before that, they beat Creighton 98-78 at home. They've also beaten Providence by 20 points at home. They've beaten Xavier by 24 points at home. They've beaten Marquette by 10 points at home. So 5-0 at the Wells Fargo Center, all by double-digit margins. They've won 9 in a row since losing their only game of the season at Butler back on December 30th. Now, do they potentially get caught looking ahead to the rematch against Butler at home in their next game on the weekend? Potentially, but they see St. John's coming in. They see the Red Storm just upset Duke. They know they struggled against the Red Storm in their last game. I just don't think Villanova gets caught in that trap, and that's why I'm willing to lay the big number with the Wildcats in this game. Your last game is going to be... oh boy, it's a tough one. You know, I vacillated here between Colorado and California, which I lean a little toward California, Nevada and UNLV, which I leaned a little toward Nevada, and then the Auburn-Texas A&M game, and I'm going to ride Auburn once more at home in this one, minus the 7 points. It was 7.5 earlier today. The Tigers are coming off a 93-81 win at home against, oh God, who the hell did they beat? I can't remember. Isn't that awful? Missouri, maybe? I can't remember. Anyway, they've won 5 in a row since losing that game at Alabama. They're 5-0 at home in conference play. A&M is coming off back-to-back home wins against South Carolina and Arkansas. But remember, they're 0-4 on the conference road. They've lost 6 straight road games overall. And on the SEC road, they've lost at Alabama by 22, Kentucky by 1, Tennessee by 13, and LSU by 12. And I think of those 4 games, I think the Tennessee game is the best comparison here, because Tennessee is another team like Auburn that doesn't have great size. A&M does have great size, but Tennessee smoked them, and I think Auburn can do the same. Auburn plays up-tempo, and although Auburn does not have great size, because remember, their 2 biggest players and their 2 best rebounders, one was ruled academically ineligible, or ruled ineligible by the NCAA midway through the season. The other one's playing status is still in limbo at this late stage. Bruce Pearl's team does an exceptional job on the board despite its lack of size. Double revenge in this spot. Auburn has lost by 19-point margins in each of the matchups the last 2 seasons, including last year's meeting in College Station. In fact, A&M has won 4 of the last 5 games in this series, but Auburn has played so well. Auburn has made me so much money this year. I got to back Auburn in this spot. Now, of the 3 selections, Auburn, Villanova, and Virginia, how would I rate them? Well, because Auburn has been a destiny darling for me, I'd rate Auburn number 1, I'd rate Virginia number 2, I'd rate Villanova number 3, and only because of the size of the point margin that I've got to be laying here. And again, I lean a little bit toward Colorado minus double digits at home against a California team that has just been awful on the road this season, and lean a little toward Nevada at home against UNLV, but not much to really endorse either one of those plays here for the free picks. Anyway, that'll do it for today's card. I wish you well, guys. I'll talk to you again tomorrow when we do this again.